probably do some soft-spoken here and there, because I've gotten a few requests for some soft-spoken videos. And I'll probably just do some whispering and then some soft-spoken when I feel like it. Just so there's a bit of both for, you know, the people who like whispering and the people who like soft-spoken. So let me know what you prefer. And before I do get into this video, I'd like to say a big thank you for 1,000 subscribers. I'm really grateful. I didn't expect to hit 1,000 subscribers so quickly, so thank you so much for that. And thank you also to the person who bought me a coffee. You know, I have a little link where people can buy me coffees, and one person did so. So if you're watching, thank you. Thank you so much. You don't know how much it means to me. So without further ado, let's get started. Again, like my previous video, these are in alphabetical order, so not in order of my favourites or anything like that. It's just my record collection, because they are in alphabetical order on my shelf. I just took them off the shelf like that. So, last time I left off somewhere, and I'm now at H. So, the first one I have for H is Harry Styles. My previous video was very 70s heavy, which is, I mean, that is I would say the most, well, might not be true anymore, but I used to listen to predominantly 70s music. I don't think that's really the case anymore, but that does explain why I have so many 70s records, but I think there's a few more contemporary ones in here, but we'll see. So yeah, I've got Harry Styles' Fine Line. I think the album's called Fine Line. I used to be, and honestly still are, a big One Direction fan. Because, you know, when I was like 12, or I don't know how old I was, but when they were big, One Direction, I was just obsessed with them. And a few years ago, obviously they broke up, or, well, went on a hiatus, but they broke up, and I wasn't really into them at that point. I'd kind of like, you know, I wasn't into them anymore, but then I re-listened to all of their albums in like 2018 or something, and I actually got more into them at that point than I was when I was like 12 or 10, I don't know how old I was, but I'm a big One Direction fan. It's very nostalgic for me, and I genuinely like their music. What can I say? So, I do have I have 2 Harry Styles albums. I don't listen to him now, but I did to his Love on Tour. I think that's... no, actually, that's a lie. That's a lie. I was supposed to go to this one, but then COVID happened, I think. So I went to the next one for his previous album. So not the one that came out recently, but his previous one. And that was really fun. But I don't really listen to him anymore. I think his first 2 solo albums are his best ones. And this is his second, and I love this album. I think it's really good. I think Fine Line is his best song, period, of like all of his albums. I love Fine Line. I got this as a graduation gift from my parents when I graduated high school, or secondary school, however you want to call it. But yeah, that's Fine Line. I think it's called Fine Line. I have one more Harry Styles record, and that is this one. objectively speaking, I think it's like, what's it called? The one. Okay, I can't think of what it's called now, but it's of that album where they're both of their faces are like facing away from each other. I don't know if you know what I mean, but Barracuda is my favorite song. My favorite hard song. I think it's really good. First time I heard Barracuda, that was on Guitar Hero. I used to play Guitar Hero on the Wii we had. And I always loved that song. I think that was my favorite song to play. It's just really good. Another reason why I love Heart is because they did a phenomenal cover of Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin a few years back. It's like as good as the original. I think it's a live cover. It's a performance at the Kennedy Center. I think that's what it's called, Kennedy Center. But yeah, I like that as much as the original. But yeah, I love Heart. I think that were all the 8 records I have. Not that it matters, but next I have this beautiful lady, Carole King. relatively quickly, it's just a Jungle Book soundtrack. This was a gift as well. So, you know, it's just the film, the soundtrack, so not too much to say about that. Next, I have John and... Okay, it's either Evangelis or Vangelis. I'm never sure how to pronounce it. Does anyone know? Is it Vangelis or Vangelis? I'm sorry, there's a fly. Go away. I don't mind flies, but I'm afraid they might be annoying on camera. This is John. That's Vangelis or Vangelis. John Anderson is from Yes, which is a 70s prog rock band. That's how I would describe them. And I love Yes. I'm actually going to see John Anderson in concert in about a month's time, which I'm really, really excited about, because I love Yes. I mean, I have some Yes records, so I'll talk about Yes when we get there. That'll be in the next part, though. But yeah, so yeah, I knew both of these people, John and Vangelis, before I knew that they did an album together. So when I saw this, I was like, wow, I didn't know they had collaborated in this way. Yeah, but this is called The Friends of Mr. Cairo. The Friends of Mr. Cairo. And it's really good. If you know anything about Vangelis or Vangelis, this is very much, you can very much hear, well, obviously you can hear his influence because it's him, but like, if you don't know this album, picture Vangelis music, his music, and then that's basically this with some vocals. It's very like synth heavy, like, I don't know how to describe it, instrumental heavy, don't know how to say it, but it's so good. There's so many good songs on here. I think the most famous is I'll Find My Way Home. I don't know how famous that one is, but I think I have heard it on the radio a few times. Oh my god, I almost forgot State of Independence was on here. So, State of Independence is one of my favourite songs ever, but I actually heard it first by Donna Summer, because she did a cover of it, which is absolutely amazing. It is very different from the original, but that's how I heard about the song. And then I listened to this one. That's why I listened to this album, because I was like, oh, I really love that song by Donna Summer, who did it originally. That's why I listened to the album. Okay, now I remember. And it's so different. The two versions are very different, but I love both of them equally, I'd say, which is rare. When someone covers something, you're bound to like one more than the other, I feel like. But genuinely, I love both versions so much because they are so different. CD as well. So that shows you that I really like it. Okay, next up. I have to go a bit faster. Japan. 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 And this was a bit of an impulse buy because I don't really like Japan anymore. Well, I don't really listen to them anymore. I had a very short period in my life where I was really into Japan, and then I completely fell off that. So yeah, it was like 4 years ago. I think I can't even tell you how I was introduced to Japan, but I think I mainly gave them a go because I thought David Sylvian, is it Sylvian? David Sylvian, okay, yeah, because I thought David Sylvian was really handsome. And I still think he is. Or, I don't know what he looks like now, but I think he's really handsome and attractive. In the 70s, he almost looks like a woman, which is really attractive. Anyway, I did really like this album at some point in my life, but I don't know if I would listen to it now. I was obsessed with their cover of Don't Rain on My Parade, which is on this album. Oh my god, sorry, that's that stupid fly. Yeah, maybe I'll get into them again, but this was a very specific time in my life. I'm kind of not into them anymore now, so we'll see if it ever comes back. Next, I have, Kraftwerk. Honestly, I don't mind bugs, but I don't want the fly to be like zooming around and like bothering you or like ruining the audio. But yeah, this is Autobahn. Which is one of my favorite songs ever. I was introduced to Autobahn, I don't know when or how. I can roughly guess when. It was like 2017 or something like that. And I loved it immediately. And I still love it. I love the song so much. And I think Kraftwerk are really cool. I once wrote an essay about them for my course, which didn't do too well. So my relationship with Kraftwerk is a little bit tainted, but I still love them. I'm kidding, that doesn't actually influence the way I think about Kraftwerk. It mainly influences the way I thought about that lecturer. I deserved a much higher grade. The module that I wrote the essay for was called Music Culture, and I was really excited for it, but it was the most disappointing module I ever took. Because it just wasn't about music culture at all. It was about like music and technology. They should have called it that. But yeah, I love Kraftwerk and I love Autobahn. From Germany to the Netherlands, because this is a Dutch artist. Lucky Fons.
and he's amazing. I'm absolutely amazed by basically everything he does. So someone commented on my last video asking why I had, like, where my interest in Dutch artists comes from, because I had a few Dutch records in my last video. So I am actually fully Dutch, but I live in the UK, so I have grown up with Dutch music, and I'm very aware and familiar with, aware of and familiar with a lot of Dutch music. So yeah, that would explain that. And so this is Lucky Falls, and apart from being such a phenomenal musician, he's also such a lovely human being. I mean, I have technically met him, but that was just, you know, to get this record signed after one of his shows. But you'll see him on television and stuff like that, and he's just like the most likable person ever. So I really, really love him. And yeah, this is For Sam. I got it signed when I went to see him, which is really fun. But this album is absolutely phenomenal. Even if you're not Dutch, like, the music is in Dutch, the lyrics are in Dutch, but it's so good. Maybe if you don't speak Dutch, it's even better. I don't know. Give it a try. Okay, just quickly show you Leonard Cohen. Songs from a Room. This was a gift as well. I do really like Leonard Cohen, but I don't listen to him as much now. But I think he's like incredibly cool. I wrote an essay on Leonard Cohen as well. On his final album, which either came out oh my god, I should pronounce that. Posthumously, you know, after someone has died, or he was producing it and writing it while he knew he was dying. It's either one of the two. Because I wrote that essay on late style, which is what it's called when an artist makes something while they know they are dying. So I wrote about Leonard Cohen. This is a bit random, but I just have so many records where I'm like, that was definitely an impulse buy. Like, I like one song off that album and I'll just get the entire album. To be honest, like, I like multiple songs on here, but would I put this on? I've maybe played this once or twice. It's Mink DeVille. Mink DeVille. Or DeVille. I don't know. He's got a pretty famous song, at least in where I grew up it was famous, called Spanish Stroll. And that might not mean anything to you, but when you hear it you might recognise it, because it's got a really famous hook, at least where I grew up it was really famous. But yeah, there's a few other good songs on that album, but I wouldn't listen to it that much, I think. I haven't listened to it that much. Same goes for this one. Actually, I think I have listened to this quite a bit. It's a collection of the Mamas and the Papas best hits. It's called Best of the Mamas and the Papas Monday. I feel like just call it the best of. I don't know why they would have to give it another title. But I used to be really into the Mamas and the Papas. I am not into them very much now. my favourite song is probably either Spanish Harlem, Spanish Harlem, Spanish Harlem, or Go Where You Wanna Go, or Do You Wanna Dance? But yeah, this was when I was really in my like 70s hippie era. I listened to that a lot. But it all sounds a bit the same to me now. Next, got another one of my favourite album covers, which is Little Feet Sailing Shoes. Okay, that sounds a bit annoying, but Little Feet Sailing Shoes. I mean, look at this cover. I forget the name of the designer. It's like Neon Park, that's it. It's on there, obviously. He did a lot of, or they did a lot of covers. Sorry for that sound. Some sleeves are nice, but this one doesn't sound very nice. So, yeah, they did a lot of covers like this. And this is, if you're not familiar with Little Feet, they're a blues band, I would say. I would say mainly blues, like rock blues-ish. Definitely like not like the traditional blues, but more of a like classic rock blues-ish vibe. And I don't know how I was introduced to them, but it might be because I know that either Jimmy Page or Robert Plant from Led Zeppelin had once said that Little Feat was their favourite band at some point during the 70s. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll check them out. And this album is so good. I think this is my favourite album by them. I don't know how big they are, like how famous. I'm terrible at like estimating how many people know certain bands. I guess Willin' might be their most famous song. I don't know. But yeah, Sailing Shoes, give it a go. Sorry, my hair keeps like blowing in my face and making my nose itchy. This is Little Feet again. Sorry for the reflection, it's a bit jarring. This is called Time Loves a Hero. And I don't know any of the songs on here. I bought this because I have a lot of Little Feet albums and I was like, I might as well just collect all of them. So I bought this one without knowing any of the songs on it, but I'm sure they're good. This is Little Feet again, and this is another amazing cover. I love that so much. This one's called is Linda Ronstadt. I'm pretty sure. Yes, I think it's her, but it's really good. Okay, is that actually all of my little feed record? I thought I had more, but apparently I only have 3. Okay, bit of a switch up. I have the Nutcracker ballet. I just love this cover too. It's beautiful. Oh man, you don't want to know how obsessed I am every Christmas with the Nutcracker. I make it a mission to go see something Nutcracker related every Christmas, whether that's a full-on ballet, whether that's a screening of the ballet, whether that's I don't know, another film that's to do with the Nutcracker, or like a book retelling the Nutcracker. Every Christmas I have to have something Nutcracker, and I also only, I mean, I guess this is quite normal, but I only listen to the Nutcracker in winter. Like, I don't permit myself, or I don't want to listen to the soundtrack or the ballet in summer. That just feels wrong. So I only listen to it in winter. My love for the Nutcracker is entirely thanks to Barbie Nutcracker, the 2001 animated film. I think watching that as a child just programmed the music from the ballet into my head, stored it away in like a faraway room, and then once when I listened to it years later, I was like, why does this sound so familiar, and why does it sound like every single note was written for me personally? And then I was like, oh my god, it's that Barbie film. And I think ever since like rediscovering it, which was like 10 years ago at this point, every winter I've been obsessed. And I'm still obsessed with that Barbie film too. I watch it almost every winter with my sister, because we both love Barbie. My favourite track is A Forest of Fir Trees in Winter, which is... Oh, they don't say it on here. used to be really into Simon and Garfunkel. They were one of the first acts or artists, but I was like actively a fan of, and you know, wanting to discover more of their music. And I always thought that Art Garfunkel was my favourite because I had heard, throughout my childhood, and later on I just heard some people say, oh my god, Paul Simon is like, apparently he's such like an asshole or something like that. And I was just always like, oh okay, I guess I don't like him. I still don't know much about him as a person, but I absolutely adore his songwriting. Like Carole King, I think he's one of the greatest songwriters of all time. He might suck as a person, I don't know. I honestly don't know. It's like with Don McLean, or Don McLean, I never know how to pronounce it. He writes such lovey-dovey stuff and such beautiful melodies and like soft, really romantic stuff. And then you find out he's like a wife beater, and his children are now like, have like a restraining order against him. Which is how when I was listening to Don McLean, I found out that he literally, he beat his wife, and he was like a dictator in his own home. So I can't really listen to him now without thinking, this guy sucks. So I usually don't listen to him. I don't think Paul Simon's quite that bad. From what I've heard, he's just a bit difficult to work with sometimes, but I don't know. I don't know a lot about him, so. Got this one. Still Crazy After All These Years, which is obviously quite a famous song of his. And I've got this one. Which has a really beautiful song on it called, quite a few. Papa Hobo, I really like. Congratulations, I really like. And Run That Body Down, I also really like. So that's that, and this is my last Paul Simon one, which is called Songbook. Yes, Songbook. And this is just a load of songs that he did with Simon and Garfunkel. So that he did with Garfunkel, so as Simon and Garfunkel, but recorded on his own. I just love his songs. His song Leaves That Are Green starts. I discovered that song when I was like 16, 17. And that song starts with the lyric, I was 21 years when I wrote this song. I'm 22 now, but I won't be for long. And just from the moment that I heard or listened to that song, I was like, oh my god, like someday I'm going to relate, like there's going to be a very small window of time where I'm going to relate to that particular lyric, like I'm 22 now but I won't be for long. I was like, oh, I'm gonna wait until that moment, and then like just before my 23rd birthday, I'll be like, whoa, that's literally me right now. And that was last year, so, well, me being that age was last year. So I had that moment. Be like, whoa, this is what I was waiting for like 6 years. Anyway. I've got some Neil Young. Harvest. 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 Excuse me. Sorry. I must say, I know this is like an iconic album, but I'm honestly not even that big of a fan of it. Nothing about it really stands out to me, which is why I don't play it very often. I only really like Old Man. But, you know, it's just iconic because it's got all of these artists on it, like James Taylor, Linda Ronstadt, David Crosby, Graham Nash. Like, they're all on here doing backup vocals and stuff like that. Oh, no way. I never knew that James Taylor played banjo on Old Man. That's crazy. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I have to give it another go. I'm not often in the mood for like a soft folk rock, soft rock-ish album anymore. But I'm sure the time will come, so I've just got 2 more. Yeah, something different. As I said, big One Direction fan. But this is the only album that I have on vinyl. Made in the AM. This is their final album that they did before they went on their hiatus, aka they broke up. So this is when Zayn had already left. Liam, rest in peace. I mustn't think about that too much because it's honestly heartbreaking. So, if you're a One Direction fan, you'll understand. But yeah, I think this album's pretty fun. I was obsessed with this in like 2018, like I said. So, yeah. Finally, again, that sleeve isn't very nice. also one of my favourite album covers. This is Person Pitch by Panda Bear. And this is one of my favourite albums of all time. It's an absolute no skip. And I just love Panda Bear. I love Panda Bear so much. He's one of my favourite artists of all time. If you don't know Panda Bear, but maybe you know Animal Collective, he was in Animal Collective. I think he played drums. But he's one of those musicians that can do anything. I really recommend giving this a listen. To be honest, it has to be your cup of tea. Like, I can understand why some people wouldn't really like anything like this, especially if you're like, if you throughout this video you've been like, oh, like, yeah, I love 70s stuff. Great, this might not be for you. I feel like maybe if you're a one type of music person, like your music taste is really like you mainly gravitate towards things that have like a certain genre or a certain sound to them. I don't know if this is a bit far out of one's comfort zone. I don't know. You might have to give it a try. It's just very, in contrast to what I've been talking about, it's very like production heavy, I guess. Like, and a bit weird. I don't like calling music weird because it sounds pretentious. Like, oh, you know, it's too weird, you wouldn't like it. Like, I don't mean it in that way. Not at all. I'm just trying to describe this album, like what it sounds like. And I feel like if you are used to a certain type of music, this might be weird. Literally just sound a bit strange. That's all I mean by that. Loads of, yeah, just post-production work, like vocals being layered and being repeated and things going on at the same time, blending and kind of contrasting each other as well. It's so good. This came out in 2007, I think. Early 2000s somewhere, or like, is that early 2000s? Yeah, like before 2010, I think. I saw Panda Bear in concert last year, because he has a new album, well, not now, last year he released a new album, which was really good. I was like, this is 2007, and he had done some stuff in between, and I was like, what's he going to do? Like, is it going to be similar to this, or... And it wasn't necessarily very similar to this, but I really liked it still. It was a bit more... poppy, maybe? I don't know. But yeah. Absolutely love Panda Bear. Alright. Alright. That will be it for this video. see something specific, because I might like to do something